My second pick was the guy I thought you were going to go with, and that's Nick Martin, the rookie linebacker, third-round pick. Whether he's the number 3 linebacker to start or the number 2 next to Fred Warner, I don't care. This dude is brought in because he's a tackling machine. And Fred Warner, the best coverage linebacker, I think, in the history of the NFL, if I'm going to be very frank. You allow Nick Martin to be the dude that gets the tackles. You allow Fred Warner to do his specialty, which is the best coverage that you're ever going to get from a linebacker. I think the tackle numbers for Nick Martin, when this season's all said and done, he's going to have over 80 tackles. And so the production, the positivity, the tackle for losses, I think that's all going to be there. And it's not even predicated upon him winning the starting job week 1 for that Dre Greenlaw role. Even if he is the number 3 early, if he overtakes D Winters by the bye week or whatever, that doesn't matter. The impact he will have is going to be huge because we just have not had – you had Dre Greenlaw, but when Greenlaw was out or whatever, there was just something off. It didn't matter. So, like, you finally get that, and I think him and Fred being together for a long time is going to be a lot of fun.
Nick Martin, there's something about Nick Martin that screams out special. And I'm not sure what it is exactly. He's got this poise about him. He's got this confidence about him. You know what I mean? There's something about him, John, that just says that he's not an ordinary player, that he's more than an ordinary player. Obviously he's got great strength, great speed, doesn't have huge size, but there's just something the way that he carries himself. Like he knows he's good, you know? He knows he's a pretty damn good player. Here is the video that I did the day he was drafted. And I mean, I literally ran into the next room, and here's what I spit out. Here it is. It's only 30 seconds or so. Here we go. Where's the volume? Yeah, there we go. This guy sucks, they say. No. This is a really good pick. I like Nick Martin quite a bit. He's a linebacker from Oak State, 16 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 picks. This year, he only played 5 games, started all 5, 47 tackles, 7.5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 2 passes defensed. He's a ridiculous athlete. This guy's got tremendous instincts. That's why you get 140 tackles. He has great speed, 4.53 in the 40, 2.64 in the 20-yard shuttle, 1.60 on a 10-yard split. Explosive lower body. I mean, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for these hyperactive, super instinctive, second-level defenders who have athleticism, mobility. You know, this guy's got it all. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I will say this. I was either going to go with him first overall or, just kind of understand that I wasn't going to get him. Because to me, he's the one newcomer that has a chance to be great. I think the 49ers have 2 guys that I've seen this summer or this spring that I think have a chance to be great. Nick Martin on defense, Isaac Guerendo on offense. They just look they're just physically they do things on the practice field that make everybody else hoot and holler. I mentioned it to Johnny Holland a few weeks ago. Simple pass to the flat in practice in OTAs a month ago. And Nick Martin just came out of nowhere and just snuffed it out like a candle. Now, he didn't tackle anybody because they weren't really tackling. He just tagged off on whoever it was. I think it might have been CMC. But every defensive player, I was standing right on the defensive sideline, all the defensive players, John, just started woofing, and it was because of the speed that he showed to get out there. And they know what that's going to look like and how that translates to football. But media people, they just are reacting to what they see. So they see this guy like a blur just run out to the flat and snuff it out. But because there is no collision and he just kind of tagged off on him and then the runner gave a little juke and ran up the field, it was like he didn't make the tackle. But the defensive players all knew, Oh my God, that normally in a game he's going to just absolutely smoke the back right there, and that was an incredible tackle. So they're all excited, and yet none of the media people were like, "Wow," you know what I mean? So sometimes there's moments that look bigger in practice than the game, but then there's lots of moments where the practice, it gets muted by the lack of contact or the lack of finish at the end of the play. That's a great one. I think there's a chance Nick Martin is the best newcomer, but there's also a chance that it takes him some time. He's a rookie. Okay, I'm going to go C.J. West.
Oh, so awesome.
CJ West, to me, there has not been anything that I've seen on the practice field that makes me think that CJ West is not going to be good. He's just explosive. He's strong. He's explosive. He practices hard. Between reps, he's working on his technique. He's talking to other guys. There's just something about CJ West that says polish. Now, then a buddy of mine, the same buddy who kind of turned me on to Brock Purdy after the Purdy draft, called me and he said, let's talk draft. And so we talked about the Niner draft, and he's like, we started talking about CJ West, and he's like, you know what? You know why that was such a great pick? And I said, I know why I think it was a great pick. And he goes, okay, tell me why you think it was a great pick. And I said, well, because when I'm watching his college film, I see a guy who consistently does not get off the football. I almost see a guy who looks like he's going to get fined if he's ever off sides, and he would rather be a step behind than jump off sides. This guy, the tendency for a young defensive lineman is to jump off sides. This guy doesn't jump off sides, but he also doesn't get off the ball. And he's like, that's exactly what I saw as well. He's like, this guy won consistently despite not getting off the ball. And they'll teach him all the tricks of the trade to get off the ball. They'll work on his get off. He'll get better at that. And once he gets off the ball and he puts his hands on the offensive lineman before they put their hands on him, he's going to win even more consistently than he already wins. He's already winning a lot. So this guy thinks that CJ West has star potential, that with a little bit of refinement and a little bit of Robert Saleh's, helping him get off the football consistently, that he could be maybe the key guy on the 49er front four. So I'm going to go CJ West.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because he two-gapped. Indiana two-gapped. And so they would read the block and then react to the block. So the get-off's not paramount in that scheme. Now you're transitioning to this GTFO Chris, Kusarek style where they do put a premium on, dude, you're getting upfield, you're causing disruption. Now, the good news is, you look at that 10-yard split that CJ West ran, one of the best of anybody at the combine. Like, he has the skills like you talked about, Larry. It's just you're now adapting his play style to fit his talent. And a big reason why he went in the fourth round, well, he doesn't have the elite metrics. He doesn't have the Alfred Collins, 80-inch wingspan. He doesn't have, the wide shoulders, the wide hips, all those things. He's narrow built. But, man, his personality matches his play style, which is explosive, disruptive, and energetic. I love this dude, man. And by far one of my favorite picks of the 49ers draft. And if Alfred Collins, my first pick, does miss time because of the holdout or because of the calf, whatever, hey, guess who's going to benefit from that? CJ West going to be out there with the first team.
Yeah, I love CJ West. I love what I see. He's so violent. And then listening to him in the interviews, he's engaged, he's excited, and he's like laughing about how violent he is. And I've seen that personality type before. I love that personality type. CJ West is going to the moon.